Every little thing that she says is fucked up, and so you're missing a lot of this character and what she stands for. But here's the one part that I think is a huge miss.
Squid Game's subtitles are wrong? Squid Game's subtitles have changed the series' meaning for English-speaking audiences, according to Koreans.
Almost everything she says is like being botched translation-wise, but you just missed, like, the writers, all they want you to know about her is that. You know what I mean? It seems so small, but it's like the entire character's purpose of being in the fucking show.
In this TikTok video, Mayer points out the mistakes and how the English closed caption loses the meaning of the original Korean language of the show.
Every little thing that she says is fucked up. I think it's because she's like plays like a low-class character and she's a gangster, so she cusses a lot and it gets very sterilized.
Youngmi said that the dialogue was so well written and zero of it was preserved in the subtitles.
And randomly, like, even things that like aren't even that bad, like she says like, what are you looking at? It's turned into go away, which might seem arbitrary, but like everything she says is not really aligning, and so you're missing a lot of this character and what she stands for.
The backlash comes on the heels of the news that Netflix are being sued by South Korean internet service providers over the popularity of the show.
But here's the one part that I think is a huge miss. Here she is trying to convince people to play the game with her, right? Right here. The translation says, oh, I'm not a genius, but I can work it out. What she actually said was, I am very smart, I just never got a chance to study. That is a huge trope in Korean media. The poor person that's smart and clever and just isn't wealthy. That's a huge part of her character. And almost everything she says is like being botched translation-wise, but you just missed, like, the writers, all they want you to know about her is that. You know what I mean? It seems so small, but it's like the entire character's purpose of being in the fucking show. Here's one more thing that got me real fucking fucked up, and then maybe I'll do more of these if I have time, okay?
한다면서 깜부도 몰라. 동네에서 구슬이랑 딱지랑 같이 쓰는 친구 말이야. 이거냐 그 없이 깜부. 기억나네요. 저도 동네에 한 놈 있었어요. 저랑 제일 친하던. 그래, 그 깜부.
They missed a really small line there, but it's like literally the point of the whole episode. 깜부, 니꺼 내꺼 없이. What that translates into is there is no ownership between me and you. Not we share everything. That is a huge miss. That's like the entire point of this fucking episode. It's a very small sentence, but now it doesn't even make sense. Like, what? It doesn't make sense. That is such a difference in ideology that the writer is trying to get across to you. Do you know what I mean? It's making me so angry. I have no idea why. I need to lay down.
After her TikTok blowed up with more than 10 million views, Youngmi posted another video where she gives another example, this time regarding the title of an episode.
So I'm going to show you another example today. I have a lot of thoughts though about the dubbing and the closed captioning, because those are the automatic options, and I could see from the comments that a lot of people chose those options, and I'm not sure why. That if there's 3 options, 2 out of 3 are really bad. Also, closed captioning and dubbing are there for differently abled people, and the fact that people think it's okay that they're subpar, because then like the option for everyone else is kind of weird. But that's a really long conversation. So even with the English subtitles, which are very, very good, there are a bunch of really big misses in the narrative. If you remember the 3rd example from my first video, the kambu definition, it's still wrong with the English translation. I mean, wrong is kind of a strong word. It's just like not as accurate as I think it should be. And I have one more example for you. This is the title of the first episode. And I understand why the game is in Korean. It's called 무궁화꽃이 폈습니다, and I know why they switched it to red light green light, because that's what the game is called in English. But there's so much metaphor in this that's like completely not even taken into account by the translator, and I don't know why. What this means in Korean is the mugunga flower has blossomed. The mugunga flower is the national flower of Korea. Metaphor alert. I mean, it's the first episode, and I need to tell you what the actual title of this episode is. The title of the episode is 무궁화꽃이 피던 날, the day that the mugunga flower blossomed. Again, metaphor spoiler alert. I personally think that they could have just called it that in English and then like called the game that, and I think people would have understood it by watching it, and I don't understand. Because if they called it The Day the Bunga Flower Has Blossomed, people would have Googled that and then they would have like understood that metaphor, right? Right. Writers deserve respect.
Meyer's comments are about the closed captions, which are for people who are hard of hearing and include audio descriptions to what is happening in the scenes, as well as speech. Meyer, though, mentions that the English subtitles are substantially better, but a lot is lost in translation, including the metaphors and what the writers of the show are trying to convey to the audience.
And so I did switch to the English subtitles, and they are substantially better. They're very, very good. All the little dialogue mistakes went away, but I think the main point of my first video, which is like the misses and the metaphors and like what the writers were trying to actually say, are still pretty present even with the English subtitles.
Do you think that the backlash is warranted? Should Netflix do better? Let us know in the comments.